are the challenges of being in a vacancy, the word I don't like. I've discovered from the breakout rooms that not every church, not everyone here at the moment is a member of a church that's in a vacancy, but some have had ministries for a very long time, and others are just, have the possibility of their minister leaving quite soon. So it's a bit of a mixed group of people that are here. And I suppose one of the things we often think about is, are we equipped for the challenges that lie ahead for us? And it's easy for us to try to say, well, actually, do you know what? Let's just leave that to the locum, or let's leave that to the interim moderator. Let's we'll just rock up on a Sunday morning, or we'll rock up to the session meeting. But actually, we don't really want to be involved because, we don't really feel that we can, or we don't really feel that we want to be involved. But I think it's important, particularly given that we are the group of people that are still and will still be there, to feel in some ways that we are equipped to deal with the challenges that lie ahead, and to remember our calling as elders, and to remember the vows that we took. And I wonder if there's challenges that you're facing at the moment, or you have faced in the past, and what support you have had, or what would you need in order to face those challenges. So if I may just ask again, two people to say, do they feel equipped, and what challenges they've faced or have faced in the past, and did they have the right support? Two volunteers to share briefly. Jim Donald has his hand raised.
Yeah, to answer that questions from both sides. In a vacancy in the past, I was very much supported by the interim moderator at the time, and worked very closely with him in the vacancy, obviously taking no part in anything to do with the search for a new minister, but everything else in terms of being trained to moderate Kirk Session meetings, etc., to the extent that I then went on to do the training for interim moderator, and took on that role in a parish with it was a linked charge, 2 congregations and 5 buildings.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for sharing that with us. Anyone else want to share a wee story of how they coped with the challenges of vacancy?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, David.
Hello, David.
We're members of Aberdeen and Portivia Church in Perthshire. We lost our minister just over a year ago, but we've been fortunate in the fact that we have a locum minister. But we also have a worship and prayer team. And on a few occasions, we've taken the service on a Sunday ourselves. So we're fortunate in that sense. And we have, as I say, we have a locum minister who's pretty good Sunday gun. Our problem is at the moment is that the lack of people coming to church. We have an average of 18 to 20 people on a Sunday service in both churches, both Portivia and Aberdeen. And it's the problem of getting people into the church. We have a new housing scheme in Perthshire near us, And we have been over the years put posters or leaflets through the doors to see if anybody would like to come to church and meet us. But as such, it's proved negative at the moment. But we're working on it, and we're hoping to, eventually get there. But we're fortunate that we've got a good set of elders in our church, if you follow me. They're willing to stand up and do the wee bit. So that's my wee story.
Thank you, David, for sharing that with us. Thanks very much. One question that I thought about was: does the length of a vacancy help us or hinder us? So if our vacancy lasts 18 months, just for example, and in some cases much longer, I've heard of churches being vacant 6 years and more. Does that help us or does that hinder us? People become tired. People get frustrated. But equally, people discover new gifts and skills that they never knew they had, but they always had them. They just weren't obvious to them, or they never had the opportunity to use them because things were mostly done by the minister. Mostly done. It's not easy. It's not easy being in a church that is looking for a minister or isn't able to call one for whatever reason. But remember that elders are a constant. Elders are always there. It might not be us, it might be someone else, but the Kirk Session is always there. And the Kirk Session and the elders within it often work very, very hard to continue the life of their particular church in their particular community. What's important to me during a time of having no minister is to be able to share with others how we are doing. And sometimes it's easy to think that presbyteries aren't interested. They've appointed an interim moderator, they've appointed a vacancy advisory committee, and you kind of feel sometimes you're left on your own. But believe me, that isn't the case. It may feel like that, but it isn't the case. And if you do feel like that at any point, tell your interim moderator. Tell that person exactly how you're feeling. It's easy to attend a Kirk Session meeting to talk about just what's on the agenda. Sometimes you need to say, this is how we as a Kirk Session are feeling. And don't be afraid to do that. And don't be afraid to ask the members of the congregation how they're feeling. So we're going to break into a discussion group now, and we're going to cover these areas here. What does calling mean to you as an elder during a vacancy and in times of change? How has or is your Kirk Session coping? How are you communicating with each other and with your congregation? And how important is your relationship with your interim moderator and your locum, if you have one? Thank you.